Oftentimes we are unaware of what our life purpose is. Years of drifting, failures, and chasing the wrong things leave us confused. What if I told you that there were 7 proven ways to discover why you're here and how to fulfill your destiny? I'm Dr. Princess, PharmD, new videos every Thursday. You've got to have a habit. You can't just wake up every morning and go by the winds to see where it takes you. Every successful person in history has had habits. Elite athletes don't train when they feel motivated. They have a routine. Entrepreneurs do not come to work when they feel like it. They have a routine. And so must you if you're going to fulfill your destiny. Habits are the single most important elements you must have to fulfill your destiny. For many years, I've had the gifts of being able to help people by just listening to them and ascertain what it is that they need to do more of or stop doing so they can thrive. But it wasn't until I built a habit on creating on YouTube that I had the potential of even helping more people besides friends and family and loved ones. 6 months ago, when I started this channel, I created an alarm, 6:30 a.m. every morning, where I worked in this channel before my day job, day in, day out. Come rain, come shine. You know what happens? The results begin to compound. When you systemize habit, you pick a specific time every single day to carry out an action that will improve your life. Well, it becomes a habit. Discipline is the second thing that you must have. Without it, you can't sustain any habit at all, let alone fulfill your destiny. Discipline is what allows us to carry out actions and behaviors on a consistent basis that lead us to attaining our goals. It's not just the wins, earning more money or losing weight or even quitting addiction that comes with being disciplined. It's the self-respect that you feel at the end of the night when you realize that every single thing you said you were going to do today, you did. There's no form of self-respect that beats that. Knowing that you can count on yourself to come through for you. When I made the decision to take out emotions when it came to executing things that I needed to do to fulfill my destiny, I don't ask myself anymore, oh, Princess, how do you feel today? Are you sad? Are you scared? Should you wait till tomorrow? No, I ask myself, why am I here? What is my destiny? My destiny is to become disciplined so that I can be able to help others fulfill their own destiny. These are the same questions you need to ask yourself when you begin to falter as to whether you should stick to your discipline or not. When Daniel in the Bible found himself in the city of Babylon filled with debauchery, he didn't say, you know what, let me just partake in it. No, he stayed disciplined and stayed faithful in God. That's why he was able to fulfill his own destiny. You've got to have a vision. It's probably the single most important guiding principle I will discuss today, because otherwise you're going to be driven by whatever is hip at the moment, what other people are chasing. It is your duty to figure out why I'm here, what God has put me in this world to do, what is my destiny, what is that I'm supposed to do in this life. Your destiny is something that feels concrete. It transcends monetary valuations and fleeting desires, something that calls you to your authentic self. The Bible says, where your heart is, so lies your treasure. It's your duty to figure out what your treasure is. The single most easy way to do that is through introspection. You're asking yourself, what is it that I'm good at? What is it that naturally calls to me? What is it that I love to do? That's how you identify the vision, because the vision is what's going to keep you going. If through introspection you still haven't identified what it is that you're supposed to do, book a one-on-one session with me, link below or the link in my bio. If you ask me the easiest ways to fulfill your life purpose, I would say is having a set of guiding principles. Otherwise, you become a full void of morals and just go by whatever the consensus is for the day. A man without principles is open to 3 defects in life. One is loss of identity, because you become a chameleon that acquiesces to whatever the ruling party says at the moment. Second is become unpredictable and untrustworthy, because people can't count on you to stick to one thing because you flip-flop every few seconds. Finally, the most important one is you become prey to people who are dominant with their principles and know exactly what they want. Where does that leave you? Aimless and directionless. Tell me how a woman who stands for nothing and falls for everything can ever achieve anything of value in life, let alone their destiny. You don't. Think of principles as a set of guardrails that defines your do's and your don'ts. Machiavelli defines people who are without principles as spineless fools that are bound to be eaten by others. And with an ever-changing world of trends and political leanings, if you don't have a principle, you just have to follow them wherever they go, down to hell even if possible. When you don't define your principles and your values, the world will define them for you. Therefore, anchoring yourself in your principles creates a bulletproof for people who wants to deceive you or make you a pawn in their agendas, and most importantly, helps you attain your life's purpose. To me, anyone who is to fulfill their life's purpose, why God's put them there, has to lead a life of conviction and not convenience. Fate and destiny. You are not a cosmic accident. You are not here by mistake. You had a pre-life agreement, a personal legend, something you needed to accomplish for coming here. Prior to your first breath, you had kinks you wanted to work out, transformations you needed to undergo, impacts you wanted to leave behind in this world. It doesn't have to be grand or glamorous. It just has to be you. And it's your duty to unearth it and realize it. For years, I ran away from my own gifts, hid under the guise of being a scientist or whatever it is I was running from, until I accepted the fact that I am intuitive, I am empathetic, I have a natural attuneness to guide and help people towards their authentic self and be happy and realize their dreams, not being a model or a wannabe influencer. Ephesians 2:10 says, we are God's masterpiece, and He has created us to carry out the work of which He planned for us. You must find out what it is that you're meant to do in this world. A Harvard study that followed people prospectively for 80 years discovered that the biggest regrets of most people on their deathbed was the fear to live out their lives authentically. Do not pass this realm with your music still playing in you. Find out what your fate is, and you better run to it until you realize it. Faith is the heartbeat that keeps your life's purpose alive. It's what gives the pain, the suffering, and the disappointments meaning. With faith, you can endure traumas you could never voice, live through disappointments that are heart-wrenching. It's what keeps the embers of flames of your dream and goals alive. It's faith. I always look at setbacks as a setup for something greater. As a child who was an empath and intuitive, who felt too much and saw too much in a narcissistic family dynamic, and was the only one who had the courage to speak up. It wasn't always easy. In fact, I akin myself to Joseph the Dreamer, who when his voice was too big for the family, had to leave home. I too had to leave home. But if that never happened, I wouldn't be the woman I am today. I would never have learned the things I've learned today. And that's what you must do when you go through pains and tribulations and trials as you try to figure out what you're here for and to attain them. Have you ever thought that the systems that keep you alive, the circulatory systems, the digestive systems, the hormonal systems that keep you alive are all for free? Thus, an entity thought that you were of value, that the thing that keeps you alive is free. Hence, there's a reason why you're here. And it's your duty to find out what it is and persevere until you realize it. Introspection is perhaps the most powerful tool as it relates to realization of your life's purpose. I believe that a healthy future begins with articulation of the past. Because if you think about it, how can you confidently move towards the future if you have not ascertained what your past experiences and behavioral patterns and how they have contributed either to the hindrance or attaining of your goals? An honest review of yourself will help you uncover blind spots and reasons behind the recurring failures in your life. It would also help you understand your psyche integrate your shadow, and ultimately understand the reasons behind the decisions you've always made in your life automatically. Introspection is something that don't always come natural to many people. As intuitives, INFJs like myself, we naturally undergo this process in our lives, throughout our lives. But regardless of it's something you can do or can't do, or natural or not natural to you, it is crucial and pivotal that you learn how to introspect, because failure to do so can be very detrimental to your life. I believe introspection is vital in everyone's life because it inadvertently uncovers what your personal legend is and teaches you how to fulfill it. Subscribe if you've enjoyed this video. Each have come with a purpose. Sadly, only few will succeed. Don't arrive at the end of your life with regrets. These 7 principles will help you realize your destiny, but are useless if you're afraid to be yourself. Click this video, the blessing of seeing what others don't, to learn how to embrace your uniqueness so you can win in life. I'm Dr. Princess. See you next Thursday.